Peace. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know, it's your boy Vic Slain Hope, and I got another video for y'all. We're going to be doing another law of the 48 laws of power. And this one is law number 31. And it's control the options. Get others to play with the cards you deal. And before I read the judgment, y'all already know what time it is. If you like my content, give it a thumbs up. Share it and subscribe to the channel. It's not too much to ask for. I ain't asking for no money, but if you fuck with my shit, don't let other people see it, man. Come on, man. Come on. Now let's get into the judgment. It says the best deceptions are the ones that seem to give the other person a choice. Your victims feel they are in control, but are actually your puppets. Give people options that come out in your favor, whichever one they choose. Force them to make choices between the lesser of two evils, both of which serve your purpose. Put them on the horns of dilemma. They are gored wherever they turn. It's kind of like the bulls, right? It's kind of like hard to avoid the horns of a bull. So this law right here, you know, it's kind of like what goes on in the hood, right? And I always say this: it's easy to make bad choices when you only have bad options. And that seems to be the dilemma in the hood. Now, before I get to hood examples, I'm going to give you an example of the book. Now, in the book, it gives an example of, in Russia at one point in time, there used to be a king or whatever, the absolute ruler, right? And the people kind of like didn't like the way he ruled, because he ruled in the sense of a dictatorship. So the people, you know, sometimes people push back when you rule with absolute power. So they was kind of complaining about the things that he was doing. But he also wanted to go to war because there was a lot of people that was plotting on him, you know, on the outskirts or also within the country. So he wanted to go to war, but he wanted absolute power from the people, and he didn't have the absolute power of the people because some people didn't kind of like him. So what he did was he withdrew from the seat of power. He told them, I'm abandoning my post. I don't want to lead y'all no more. And he left for like about a month. For the whole month that he left, of course it was a scheme. For the whole month that he left, there was riots. There was you know, a lot of unpleasant things happening in society, crimes, mobs, burning of buildings. There was a whole bunch of stuff happening, right? It was a lawlessness going on. So after a month, the people came to see him and they said to him, we need you to come back because the country is running amok, is in chaos. So he gave them two options. He said, look, this is the only way I'm coming back. Either y'all give me absolute power and don't question my authority, or I'm just not gonna lead y'all. Y'all gonna have to find somebody else. So because people already seen a glimpse of what was going on when he was in the power, what they did was they succeeded to giving him absolute power and not questioning his authority. So you see, he gave them two choices. The choice was, you see what's going on, or you could choose me and I could come back into power. So that's one example. Another example of this is in the hood, for example. And like sometimes, for example, when you used to move into projects, I don't know if it still goes on, but when you move to a certain hood or when you move to the projects, right, there's usually a gang that controls the projects. And what usually happens is this. Well, what used to happen, I don't know if it does, but what usually used to happen is the gang from the projects, when new dudes come in, when a new chick come in, everybody trying to smash her. And when new guys come in, they either step to you to join their movement, or they're going to beat you up, or you're going to have problems with them. A lot of times that's usually what used to be going on, right? It happens to any hood. You move to a Crip hood, they might press you. You move to a Blood hood, they might try to get you to join, you know? So like, that's just some shit that happens. So now you're confronted with a dilemma. You either don't join and maybe risk, you know, having issues with these dudes because, you know, you're not one of them, or you join and then you're probably still gonna have issues because now you gotta have some activities and crime to kind of like, you know, because that's part of like being part of a gang, right? You have to commit crimes and shit. So either way is a lose-lose situation, because you reject them, they might feel some type of way, now they're going against you, and then you join them, you're gonna have problems with police and you know, doing crimes and all of that shit. So it's a lose-lose situation. Another example of this is voting, right? Especially this last election about the lesser of two evils, right? Where people didn't want to vote for Trump, but people chose Biden, and Biden ain't really doing shit. But at the end of the day, people love the illusion that they have some type of freedom. They love the illusion that they have some type of choice in a matter, right? And this is the things that people love. People love this idea that, oh, like nobody forced me. But in reality, if when you think about voting, especially for the president, the electoral college picks the president. It's not even the popular vote, right? So technically, me and you, the individuals, didn't pick shit, right? They already have a system in place to elect the next president, right? I really think elections are rigged. We seen that with Al Gore. I don't know if some of y'all was old enough, but I just don't really believe in presidential elections, especially in this country. But they give us the illusion that we have the freedom. They give us the illusion that we are making our own choice. That's why they tell us bullshit like every vote counts and all of that crap. I never seen a presidential election where it came down to like single votes. No. For example, Hillary beat Donald Trump by the popular vote by 2 million votes. Yet she didn't win. Why? Because the electoral college picked the next president. It's not the popular vote. It's not the masses. So anyway, that's just an example of the illusion that we have choice, that we have freedom, but it really is very limited because you either picking Republican or Democrat. It's very limited. So another example that they gave here was when you're dealing with people who are undecided, when you're dealing with people who maybe come to you as for advice, if you're an advisor to certain people, and they are undecided, and maybe they're not that smart at arriving at certain decisions and conclusions, you can you give them suggestions. You give them 2 suggestions, and basically you give them the suggestions that you kind of want, right? I'm not saying that you can even use this with women. A lot of times women are undecided. They don't know what they want to eat. And the best thing that you should kind of do is probably just give up 2 suggestions. Like, you either want to go here or you want to go here. And it could be 2 suggestions of places that you want to eat. But you're giving them the illusion of choice, right? But you really playing the games because you want to go to either one of these places. These are your favorite places. So another example is how you change the game. In the 1860s, John Rockefeller, he wanted to create an oil monopoly. So he wanted to buy all the smaller oil companies, but they was refusing because they knew what he was trying to do. He was trying to play them. He was trying to create this whole big company and own everything. So they was refusing to sell their stuff. So what he did instead was he bought all the railroads. He bought like railroads that were used to transport these companies' oil, right? So when he came and tried to buy the oil companies and they refused to sell them to him, what he said was, well, you do know I own the oil. I do own the railroads. So I can either charge you a higher fine to transport your oil, or I could just decide not to move your oil from one place to another place throughout the country. And so he basically gave them a choice, but he really coerced them to sell their companies. So you see, this is kind of like the example of the law where you give people a choice, but the choice is in benefit to what you really wanted them to do in the first place. And this kind of like happened a lot. It used to happen a lot back in the days with women, right? Sometimes back in the days, women, if they wanted you to be their man and they knew you wanted to have sex with them, what they would do is, I had a girl in my house one time. And I'm just going to give you an example real quick. I had a girl in my house one time. She came to my house or whatever. She wanted to have sex. She told me to put the condom on or whatever. I put the condom on. And the moment I was about to enter her, my joint was literally like tapping her shit, right? Like I was at the entrance of her vagina. She told me like, nah, like, you're not my boyfriend and I don't want to have sex with somebody who's not my boyfriend. She just changed her whole mind. Mind you, I was bothered because you told me to put the condom on. You did all of this. You told me this, X, Y, Z. And then when I did it, you started playing these games like you wanted me to be your man. Now, a lot of men back then in these type of situations, they would say, all right, whatever, well, you my girl now. Just to smash, just to get them to make the choice that she wanted them to do, right? So that's another way. It's really like coercion in a way, right? But it's the illusion of choice. I had the illusion of if I want to smash, if I was thirsty to smash, like I would have to right there concede to like, yeah, all right, we together now, right? Or I could just be like, nah, we not together, and I wouldn't smash. And it was cool. And I chose to, like, I was like, nah, I'm good. Like, I'm not even mad. Like, she was like, you mad? I was like, no, I'm not mad. I'm good. Ain't nothing. I wasn't mad. Like, you know what I'm saying? After that, we just left. Like, but after that, I never fucked with her again. Because, like, I already know the game and the scheme. Like, you're not going to be playing with me like that. So that's just the examples. Another example So those are like the main examples that I've seen, that I think is worth noting. That it's just like, it's basically coercion with the illusion of choice and the illusion of freedom and free will. The reversal of this law is basically that, you know, it's basically, you can force somebody to do something, but then it leaves a distaste in people's mouth, right? Like, it leaves people feeling resentment. It leaves people feeling some type of way about you forcing them to do certain things. But when you force them in a way where you make it look like they chose their own demise, or they chose their own destruction, or they chose to be in the situation that they're in, they don't really feel that resentful towards you. So you don't really got to worry about a lashback, because at the end of the day, they gave up their choice. They made the choice to kind of like give you power, or to be in the situation that they're in. But let me know what y'all thoughts are on the video, and make sure if you like it, you share it so other people could benefit from it. Y'all stay safe. Peace.